Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
We welcome you once again to Elim and still on our series on relationship, love, marriage, and sex. Next week will be the end of the series, and next week we are going to talk about sex. Sex in marriage, not in relationship. let me first of all establish that scriptural position, and it's joy. I mean, we've received a lot of very positive feedbacks from our listeners and our watchers. How that what we share here has become a blessing to many. And tonight we are here to continue the conversation on how to protect, sustain, and optimize this blessed institution of marriage the Lord has honored us with. And I'm here again with my distinguished panelist. Today I will introduce Pastor Rekobin Kwache first. He's looking exemplary today. Pastor, you are looking very nice.
Thank you, sir.
And it's a joy to always have you on the show. Your inputs are phenomenal. God bless you. You've gotten a lot of fans out there.
Wow.
Don't worry, Anka. You'll get connections. So it's a privilege to have you, and welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And then to my left is somebody's wife, Mr. Osimesi. We are here to. I'm really eager to meet your husband one day, and thank him for giving us the opportunity to host you for all these weeks. This is Mrs. Isabella Bonancanza, popularly called Mama B. She doesn't like the name Mama B, but it's like you cannot help it. Yes, we like we like the name Mama B. So Mama B, you also warmly welcome to the show. You'll have a lot of fans out there too. I think that among the three of us, I have the least fans out there. Mama B has the biggest fan base.
Absolutely.
And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Tonight we want to look at the issue of marriage as an iterative process, a cycle. I have always argued that marriage can be seen as a cyclical experience. So, in my own conceptualization, and I hope that my panelists will agree with me, I think that marriage has 5 stages. The first stage is the romantic stage. Then from the romantic stage, we move to the reality stage. Then from the reality stage, we move to should I go or should I stay stage. Then from there, we move to the working stage. After the working stage, we still have the should I go or should I stay stage. And then the cycle continues. But the cycles, they are not mutually exclusive. They feed into each other. And there is that fluidity. But generally, you can say that I believe, and I stand to be corrected, marriage starts with a very romantic sexual stage, then transitions into a very realistic, pragmatic stage. Then you have the working stage. The working stage. So the romantic stage is when everything is lovey, butterflies in the air, love in the air, Cinderella, and they lived happily ever after. But after 2 days, you see that there is something about this woman I didn't know, something about this man I didn't know. That takes us to the reality stage where now you begin to see the humanity of the person you've committed yourself to. Then from there, the questions come up. If this is how the guys, maybe I would not have married her. So should I stay in the marriage or should I move? The same thing actually applies to relationships. You can apply the same cycle to relationship. Then from there, if you decide to stay, you begin to work things out as a couple. So you go to the first stage, the working stage, where we try to sort things out, blend into each other. But after a while, the question still comes up. Do I stay or do I leave? If you decide to stay, then you try to provoke the romantic appeal again. But this is the conceptualization of Godfred Bonancanza. Pastor Phil, do you agree? You have been married for 10 years. So have you seen these phases of marriage, or I'm just hallucinating?
Oh, you're not hallucinating. They exist. These stages actually apply to every marriage. And I juxtapose it against life. That so far as you are born a baby, you grow, you become an adult, you move to adolescence, you go to adulthood, and then you keep going to the senior ages. The same applies to marriage. The other part I want to ask a question is do I stay or do I leave? I think it appears, but when I look at it in the light of the fact that when you enter into marriage, it is a journey of no return, then I ask myself that should you be asking yourself that question? Because the moment you give yourself that there is that liberty to decide whether I want to stay or I don't want to stay, then I think it may defeat the purpose of, in the first place, that is a marriage of attachment without detachment. So couples may have to really consider that when it's going to come up, because you are going to look at your aspirations that you went into marriage with, and then as to the realities that you are facing, whether they really match and you have the capacity to continue, or you are willing to put in the work to continue. So we ask ourselves those questions. But as you are asking yourself those questions, then you are also having in mind that there's a base where in God's design, when so far as you are attached to your partner, that is it. You have to stay in it to work it out until it gets to the place where you desire for it to be. And that is the life even of the believer, that we are all being prepared unto a perfect day. We are not perfect yet. We are still going on to become perfect. So that is how I would see it.
So,
yes.
so it's a realistic
conceptualization
of marriage.
Yes, it is.
Mama
it is.
B. Am I hallucinating or that's the reality?
I perfectly agree with you and Pastor Fee, what you've said so far. That's a reality, actually. And I think that the earlier we get to appreciate the fact that there are downs and up, as much as we don't want to talk about it, it's there. So I think that if you accept this reality, then you will not be taken by surprise when that low moment comes up, because you know it is there. I'm not suggesting that you should be looking out for them, but if you have it in mind, you know that this is a possibility, then when it comes up, you know that yes, this is one of the moments, then you prepare yourself for such moment. And like Pastor Fee said, it is an attachment without detachment. So the question of should I leave or should I go wouldn't come up, because you know that you are in to stay. That one will help you look for the way out so that you can move on to the next level.
So let's take the stages one after the other and then look into. So the romantic stage, the first stage. When you are about to marry, you get the impression that is the stage or the phase of marriage which goes into perpetuity, is forever. I love you, he's calling me, I'm calling her, the emotions. Is that the case? That's forever. And if it doesn't last forever, how long maybe? That doesn't last.
It lasts forever. I think it lasts forever in our minds. Because as we go into it, that is the desire. That stage will never end. Oh, but who was that? The stage that I can go and escort you, and then you go and escort me, and I will go and escort you, and you go and escort me again.
Put him saying me. But we don't want to 1,000 miles.
It was a good exercise. and the stage where the phone calls. I love to hear his voice. He knows how to talk to me. The way they switch their voices, and they are, I have to demonstrate what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that is a stage everybody longs for. And once it gets there, Father, let it remain so. Don't take this cup from us.
But seriously, that stage is wonderful. The butterfly feelings.
It's beautiful.
When you've not heard from the person for even a day, it's like your whole day.
It's messed up.
It's messed up.
Yes. And it's a beautiful thing. And I think that God, in his mind, allowed that stage to be there. Because it is a very important stage in any marriage. It helps you to norm what you want to get. It becomes a base for you. Once you begin to have that sense of feeling and attachment for the person, then it means you are getting yourself ready to make it work, to sustain it. Without that, I don't think anybody would marry. Because if we don't have the romantic stage first, we would leave.
And nothing will attract me.
Nothing will attract me to the. If I enter straight and it's all reality, hey, oh yeah, let me pack my bag. Singleness is good. Let me stay there. But if I am going into marriage, something must be there that forms a picture that I look forward to, or something I can keep working it out for it to repeat itself. So I think that the romantic stage, couples can engineer it for it to be occurring in their marriage. They can take it and decide that whatever was attracting us, that made us feel those things, we can intentionally find those ones and then work it out from time to time for it to be part of the marriage. So you don't drop it. It's not like when you have moved, like you said, the stages, they are not mutually exclusive. It moves, it's interwoven into each other.
Yeah.
So how you play those, each stage, also determines how your marriage becomes successful or not.
Mabi, did you experience the romantic stage? We are to meet your husband. We are very eager to.
Of course.
Because I'm eager to
Of
share mine.
course. Of course, I experienced that. I think I still experience it anyway. Like he said, that it's not mutually exclusive. It's intertwined. So, yes, I've got a great deal of butterfly moments.
Where
You know-
butterflies flying.
For me, I always trace the day I started developing romantic feelings towards my wife to a day in the relationship stage. Yes, when we're in a relationship. She loves pictures. And that time I was trying to make my move. And we went out to the Capo's castle. And we're there talking and all that. And the wind did me a favor. Lihodu lahadusa.
My God.
So she requested for a picture, went and stood on the rock. And just when I was about to take the picture, the wind blew, like the Bible said.
Hey, shh.
And the wind improved my vision inside. From that day, I said, hey, I'm not going anywhere. This is where I am staying. I'm not moving an inch. And they started creating these butterfly feelings, imaginations, wonderful imaginations, which kept me, for me as a man, because men, as you know, we deal with vision side. It kept me attracted and connected to my wife. So even at the relationship stage, I was always looking forward to the day I would see the full picture. And when I saw the full picture, it was beautiful.
Glory to God.
But does it last forever? In practical sense, because I have seen, and I'll come to maybe you. I've seen that there are times when in marriage you don't feel any feeling towards this same person that a few years back you couldn't go without hearing from her for a day. So why does that happen? We start off loving each other so much, and then it gets to a point, like for 3 days, I say, we need you another. Is that the transition to the reality stage of life where it's no more the emotions which drive the home per se, but other factors of life come up?
Okay, so some years back I read a book, and the author suggested that according to psychologists, when you say I do, when a man and woman exchange vows, when you say I do, 6 people are present.
6 people are present?
Yes. Oh, wow. And it has to do with who the bride, on the bride's side, who the bride thinks she is, and who the bridegroom thinks the bride is. Then the actual character of the bride too is there.
Ooh.
So as a person, who you think you are, what your partner sees you to be, and your true self.
So you are 3 in 1.
3 in 1.
But I want to say there 3 in 1.
No. It's the same thing with the bridegroom
so
too.
6 people
6
involved
people
here.
involved here. Because who you think you are. At times, you tell people certain character trait, and they marvel. Really, is that what I do? Because it tells you that that's not how they see themselves. That's not how they perceive their personalities to be. But from people they deal with, they have a picture. The persona has no idea about. So that is the other thing. And here is the case that the bridegroom during the relationship state has also formed a particular picture of the bride, of his bride. And the same with the other side, how the bride perceives the bridegroom to be and all that. So when you get...
I feel like I'm listening to a lecture.
Absolutely.
When you get into the marriage, and it gets to a state that you tend to see the actual self, I think that's why at times the questions come up. Not necessarily with should I leave or go, but how come I didn't see it?
The real
But
person.
we did it for 4 years, 5 years. How come I didn't see it? But my response has always been the fact that we need context. It is the setting that will cause a person to manifest. So for all you know, at that during your 4 years, you were never faced with such a situation for the actual, that trait of your partner to be revealed to you.
I want to say something, but I don't want to disrupt you. So you continue.
When you come together, now you are married, you spend most of the time together. So you get to meet a lot of instances, a lot of things start cropping up. Then these other traits you were not privy to. Some of them, no matter the books of red flags you read, you might never see them. No matter what you do, you might never, because the setting, the circumstance, the condition to trigger that has never shown its head at any point in time. So you don't get to see it. So from the butterfly stage, when you are hit with such realities, such actual manifestation of the person you are with, then it kind of takes you aback that did I really do my homework well? Do I even know this person I am with? So that's the time that you start
the doubts begin to set in. But actually, from what you are saying, then it's a blessing. Now you are beginning to see the tripartite personality manifest. The one you thought she was, the real person, and the one she's always seen herself to be.
That is when we should be happy. When it manifests at this stage, when you know that you have to work it out, then you slot yourself into whatever you have to do to at least thank God it's up at this stage.
But
so that you get to deal with it.
To reflect on this. For me, this is a whole lecture. Maybe Nima do it.
You have just opened my eye. You've opened my eyes. And it comes to confirm exactly how our marriage settings are supposed to be. That it's a journey of discovery.
It's a journey of discovery. A journey of revelation.
So you should be unveiling. So you should be excited to discover. But because Pastor, maybe because we are pastors, the scripture. But if you look at the scriptures, God always is his innate desire to always keep revealing himself. And so, as he has created us in his image, there will be revelations about our lives each time. So, when you get to see what your other partner, the context brings itself and it's beginning to manifest, then you get to know, so this is it. How do we manage this? How do we find the solution for the situation? So, it helps you to be able to begin to shape your life. I said to a couple of young people recently that marriage is a journey of discovery, and you should not make quick moves. At least you should have gone your full 10 years. At least 10 years would give you a bit bigger, more context for you to know the partner you are with. You cannot know your partner within 2 years. I really doubt. From my personal experience, I think that not less than 10 years, you are not really married.
You know, the romantic stage gives us a very hypocritical picture. I always say, when I'm counseling young couples to be, I tell them that you are hypocrites. I tell them straight in the face that all that you've seen about her which has given you the impression she is perfect is hypocrisy. And the same applies to the other side. Why am I saying that? I'm saying so because at the romantic stage, we put our best foot forward.
Yes, of course.
So suddenly this boy who wakes up from bed and doesn't lay the bed, doesn't clean the room, hears that the fiancé is coming to visit, and suddenly turns into a hotel. Turns the room into a hotel room. Everything's so perfect. But for how long can you sustain such a hypocritical attitude? So from what you are saying, then we see this guy, the real person is unkept.
Yes.
But the person presented to the lady is a very kept, neat boy. Then there is the other side, the real one you would uncover with time. That is very insightful.
Very insightful. You know, let me share my personal story about this. I think because when I met my wife, the lovey-dovey was very intense.
You were going and coming.
Oh, I used to go and wait for her at a mutual friend's place when she's coming from computer classes. It was every day, consistent. 5 p.m. I should be at my friend's place waiting for her. I just could not wait to see her.
Odo bena yesu doi odo. Wait a minute.
Sophie.
Odo bena ereki doi odo.
So it was very serious. I would go. I never missed one day. To the extent that one time I went to wait for her and the weather changed all of a sudden. I became the brave man. I took the umbrella. I held the umbrella. I said, I held it over her. Let me be the one who gets wet. But in fact, I think it scored some points.
Things we do for love.
Things we do for love. I did that. We walked all the way. I made sure she got to her door and went inside safe. And then, brother man, I had to dress in what I came home. My mom was looking at me. I quite infant.
Oh,
things we did for. Oh yes. So at that, I really felt so much. I just wish I could be with her. I felt like how I wish the two of us were integrated together like that, like one work
and always together.
Always together. That was the feeling, and it's been.
But in your real life, real state, like if you saw a lady walking through the rain and you had umbrella, would you?
Also, now the social way, but now we're so
the hypocrisy is really strong at the relationship, the romantic stage.
The romantic stage.
I see men who go extra lengths to please their fiancés and girlfriends, and I ask myself, when you marry this woman, would you be able to sustain this level of attention and all that? But the romantic stage comes along with that.
Oh yes.
But then you got to a realistic stage where you begin to see the person. Apparently, not only time. You don't have time.
In fact, I was going to say that when you move to the reality stage, there's certain changes because there's the introduction of other conditions that would other favor you being able to continue with the romantic things you are doing, because now you've gone into, there's responsibility laid on you. There are demands from work, there are demands from home, there are demands at everywhere that you find yourself. There's responsibility laid on you that you have to commit to, and those things also demand same attention. That you struggle to divide it for your beloved, and then your all those responsibilities given to you. So those are the things that come in that begin to make us know that, okay, now we are not just alone. As much as I'm in love with, I'm living with you, there are other commitments laid on us that we have to equally share our time and share our resources with. And so we will have to adjust ourselves to fit that stage.
I'll come to you again, Pastor Fee. So, Mama B, Pastor Fee made a point that the whole journey is a journey of discovery. If it is a journey of discovery, why are we so shocked when we see this hidden persona of our partner, the hidden man of the heart? If one day he pops up, then we are so shocked, we are so surprised. Why?
So let's thank God for programs like this one. So such programs, at least you get to learn other things from. So hearing as we discuss, if someone is watching out there, you get to know that there is more to it than we see. then it will help you. I think that before I got married, I read a book, and the book spoke about how men are goal driven, like they are hunters. So when they set out to hunt for something, they go all out. And when they achieve their goal, they celebrate, they move on to the next task. Because it's such that they've been wired to always do something, make achievements, set goals, achieve the results. So you, the lady, you are a target, his goal. That's why he will go all out, hold the umbrella for you, and get drenched in the rain and take you home. He's pursuing a goal. As soon as he achieves it, he moves on to the next one. So yes, he wanted to marry you. That's why he did all that he did at that time during the relationship stage to get you. Now he's conscious of his home, which means that he is going to work to get the money. Now you, the wife, you're at home. It's not that he's ignoring you, but there's a level of attention you will not receive from your husband, because that time that he was taking you to the salon or he was holding the umbrella, because now we in a go, we achieve, we done deal. Now he has his dream house, he has his dream car. Even you, the wife, probably also have a dream car that he would want to get it for you. That's why now he will have to do what he has to do to get all these things sorted out. That some men will not understand when the wives are complaining that you don't have time. Because his goal is to get a decent apartment for my family. Even those who have their own buildings, they would want to maybe get the dream one, because that one is something that something he inherited. So when I read that book,
your husband is blessed.
I think that I was ready for some of these things. So at times I would say that it's a scam for the cameras. This one you are doing is for the cameras. Yes, for the person. So I think knowledge. The last time we discussed knowledge.
Yes.
So it helps. That yes, we pay more warrior now to the marriage. Yes, he knows he has to play a role in the marriage, but that's why I think it's appear the butterfly stage is. So I think that probably fellow ladies should appreciate their men work, and the men too should appreciate us and at least try and make some time.
Before you come in, I want to say something. I'm happy my wife is not here, so I can say it. Today I'll call her Mrs. Osimesi. Mrs. Osimesi. Before marriage, of course, the hypocritical attitude, I would write her date of birth in my calendar. 12 a.m. Like, she's 8th of April. So 12 a.m., 8th April, I'm ready to, call and happy birthday and all that. But what are you know? When you say for like the first 4 years, nothing kind of birthday. Because for me, that was not an important issue. I'm looking for money to make a life comfortable.
Your wife told me the first baby, you even forgot.
The first,
yeah. First baby after marriage, you forgot.
First baby after marriage.
That's what the wife told me. I know the wife.
Because it was to score points, like she was saying. So after the points had been scored, and now we have started life, men have to increase income. Birthday. You mean that, like, when I wake up from bed, what I should prioritize is your birthday? Now, I mean, I thought I just a big guy. And you know that the first few years of marriage, it was a topical issue. And it be one I so remember 2018 officer. I remembered like 4 p.m. that it was my wife's birthday. I'm happy she's not here. And when I was coming home, driving home, I was shaking. Hey, will I be fried today or I will be pounded? But that was a reality. The birthday was no longer a priority. The demands of life required me to refocus and make ends meet. But sometimes it comes across as a misinterpretation.
Yes. And it's sometimes sad. But I'm very happy that Mrs. Osumesi, this one day, Mrs. Isabella, Bona in Cancer, has said it to the women that they should please appreciate their men when they move on to the next task, because you are part of the home. And we are driven to make sure that the home is a home. It's a place where you are being well catered for. We need to provide all those things. So when we are moving on to the next goal, I'm not holding brief for all the men, but you give us the support and benefit of the doubt when we miss some of these things. After the birthday, I think those ones, the forgetfulness about anniversaries and marriage birthdays. I think God should look at it. He took it out of the men's heart. He gave it for a
I don't know
period.
whether it's something with the brain of men. We have to talk to psychologists to get some insight into that. But Mama B, I want to come back to you on a question of the revelation. I mean, the manifestations you suddenly come across in your man, and gets a lot of women shocked, taken off. On the part of the woman preparing for marriage, do you anticipate that all this love he's showing me, maybe it is because of something? Or per the programming of women, your expectation is that all this love he's showing me will continue into perpetuity?
I think that both sides, because we have some women having in mind that there is that possibility of the partner changing, and if he gets what he wants, because truth be told, I think that it's out there.
Is it the partner changing or the partner manifesting his true nature?
No, like changing, not in quotes the true nature. They know that certain things will stop. That's why some ladies will say that, let me get whatever I need now.
At the
Because when
romantic
you are
stage.
a warrior, obejai. So let me enjoy while it lasts, because we cry a warrior and kawejai. So some also carry that mentality. They have that mentality that when we get married, then he'll be familiar with me. So there are certain things he will not do. That's why they'll be requesting for all the wigs. So if he gets at least 6 Brazilian wigs, no worry now, after 3 years, won't wig a man, watching a wig in advance. So some women become overly materialistic because they think that this is a time for me to save
because
for posterity.
Warrior,
yes.
Or also they score on a point, or they achieve the goal, or achieve you'll be secondary.
Yes. So let me take all that I can take, save some in my account, do all that I'll have to do, because if we get married, that's all. And there are some who think that, it will continue. And this is the person, this is who he is. So nothing at all. So they just stay there and enjoy the moment, and later they marry, and when the change comes in,
there's shock.
The shock.
I think that, from what I'm gathering from our conversation, Pastor Fee, is that we should anticipate these different manifestations of our partners as we go into marriage. Yes. The love he is showing you at the romantic stage, he may not be able to sustain it forever. The commitment she's showing you at the romantic stage, she may not be able to sustain it forever. Yeah. And if there is a change along the line, it shouldn't come as a surprise, right? Yes. Okay, before you come in, I want to share my personal reflections on Adam. I think this also happened between Adam and Eve. Okay, so we read from the scriptures that Adam was alone first. He wasn't lonely. He was alone in the garden, working. Focused on his work. He had been tasked with taking care of the Garden of Eden. Very big. It's expanded from Saudi Arabia to Ethiopia. Very big. So the man was a workaholic, going and coming. Then God brings in the woman. The first day, Adam saw the woman. Adam gave vibes. Romanticism. You are the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. Because of this, a man will leave his father and mother, will be cleaved to you. And Eve will treat me any day. But I think after a few days, Adam got back to his work. Yes. And neglected Eve. Otherwise, why would Eve go and talk to a serpent? So Adam was not making time to talk to the wife. After the first few days, oh, you are beautiful. See you. After Eve, we no.
To the next goal.
To the next goal of going back to my work and ensuring that all the chimpanzees and the antelopes are fine. And Eve wanted somebody to talk to. And ended up talking to a serpent. But it's my own theory. I don't know.
Oh no, because I share similar sentiments concerning it.
So Eve didn't anticipate.
No.
I think came to her as a surprise.
Yes.
And out of frustration, talking to the leaves, talking to birds, talking to. It implied that Eve was talking to animals actually.
Yes.
Because if she was not talking to animals,
She wouldn't have ended up talking to
Talking
a
to serpents.
serpent.
You remember at our last discussion, I mentioned if the partner is ready to listen.
So Adam was not listening.
Of course, he was working,
So
sailing the land.
Yes.
And the serpent was ready to talk, to engage Eve, to help her on her adventure, to help her on her fantasies. This tree and the end results, we all know it.
I'm saying this to buttress the point she was making about men being goal-driven.
Yes.
And the fact that the woman, it's unfortunate, but it seems that for most men, that's how we think. The woman is a project. After marriage is a project in the mind of the man. I get the woman I want, goal done, sorted. I move on to the next goal, the next goal. And I think that was what happened to Adam. But men, why do we think like that? We make all these promises. I'll be there for you. I'll take care of you. And then after a while, we begin to manifest a different nature.
But I think if we don't have that, we would probably tank. We'll become stagnant. And we will not be able to drive the home to the next level or move things forward. We are wired to always go and bring, provide, bring the resource, get the things going, keep what you are doing. That's why it said that you should be married to a man who has something, a man with a purpose. Because the two of you are coming together to prosecute the purpose that God has given to. Essentially, with the man, and then the two of you come to be together to prosecute that purpose.
You make a very important point. But sometimes the romantic feelings can cause the woman sometimes to overlook the purpose and dwell on the romance and expect more of the romance instead of now joining hands with the man to prosecute purpose.
Absolutely. And that comes back to the point Mamabi made, that knowledge. The moment, if you don't have that understanding of marriage, then you would situate it all at the romantic stage. So everything should be butterflies. Today we are eating here, we are flying here, we are flying here. And once that is not forthcoming, then you think that then I'm no longer, or he's seen somebody else, or he has lost interest. But that is
when the suspicions begins to come
in.
Now
yes.
He's not coming home at 5 p.m. again. He's coming home beyond 5 p.m. And then suspicions begin to come. He's seeing another woman. But on the part of the man, he's putting in efforts to make life better.
And so I have some prescription that I have for, especially enter into the reality stage. As couple, when you identify at the romantic stage, the things that keeps the bond going, get to know them and note them. And then you transport it into the reality stage as intentional workings that you would do to sustain the relationship. Other than that, the realities of life would swallow
the curse of this world.
Yes, the curse of this world will swallow that love, and it can affect the union, especially if the woman or the other partner does not come to that understanding that we have moved and we need to be able to move forward and get things done for ourselves. So once they have that understanding, if they get to know those ones, then they can be intentional at doing them intermittently. We decided that after a year, we'll take a break. Or if it's 1 day, 2 nights, whatever you think you can afford, you intentionally plot them in. Yes, intentionally putting them in.
Otherwise,
yes.
The curse of life will not allow you to.
It would swallow you.
I was in a conversation with a couple. I spoke first to the woman, and the complaints were that the things, the commitment the man used to show when they first married, the man is no longer showing that commitment. But because of the knowledge I have, I knew that so she's not appreciated the transition.
Yes.
And then I started asking questions. Okay, he doesn't come home early. What does he do? He's always in the office. I said, okay, in the office, what's he doing? He's working. Is the working rewarded with money? Well, yes, his salary has appreciated. And I asked, are things working? Well, he's bought a new car. He's done this. He's paying the school. But Pastor Crawford, he married me. He said, yeah, that's a reality. He can't stay at home and make money. He has to be out there working to be able to take care of you. And these are realities that, like, married couple should come into. I'll bring in Mama B at this point. What about men shock you the most at the relationship stage? Or you can use Mr. Osimesi
I
as
think
a.
the men, yes. I'm a
What
little
shocks you the
confused
most?
because oh,
For me as a man, what shocked me the most was the ability to drag disagreements. Like I was confused. For boys in our world, when I have differences with him, we disagree. We speak our mind to each other. Tomorrow we go and eat fufu. We are gone. Hey. Then
Pacify. You have
I
to
suddenly find myself in a situation where I have to apologize not once, not twice. Before the energy can be, sparked again and things to go. For me, that was the biggest shock. Then I realized, no, I'm not dealing with a man here. I'm dealing with a woman, and the experiences are different. So what shocks you as a woman the most, or for you, what shocked you the most at the relationship stage?
oh, the level of forgetting things. Like
That
something
man, Mr. Osimesi.
you think that this is something you shouldn't forget.
Like the birthdays, eh?
Yes, that's something you shouldn't forget, and I don't know, he has managed to
Forget.
forget it. It's shocking, and this level of I'm working and I need to work, because we can multitask. So it's at that point that we can multitask. So
So
why
start
is he
asking those
doing
questions.
this? And
Why can't he combine?
yeah, why can't he combine? Because I'm doing it. He's working. I'm equally working. But I'm trying to make time for the family. But I think I stopped when I realized that anyway, when you look at the salary difference, then you understand why. You understand why? So I would tell you, okay, imagine me share. So as for that one, I don't joke with it. So I allow you the time to work. I allow you the time to do whatever you have to do. Now make sure you are giving me my due, because that is it. I think that if the men too, they let my colleagues, my gender, if they get their due, then they will appreciate it. If the woman, like you just shared with the house, the couple, the lady was complaining, you ask, oh, he's what a new car. Fine, at least you can see
The progress.
progress. You can see evidence of his work. But when you find yourself, your husband traveling to the south, to the north, he's spending hours in the office, and every now and then he's complaining there's no money. Then he says, so do you get it? But if we see evidence of your work, then the woman too can appreciate it. So the men who are hiding the money, bring the money out so that we know that indeed you are bringing something.
Your hard work is translating into
yes. So,
the betterment of life.
yes, if not, if there's nothing to prove you are working, then it's as though you are just trying to make excuse. You are just making excuse for not making time for the house and all that. So that's about. So the shock, I think the lack of ability to multitask, because I think that certain things are very simple. They are quite simple. You should be able to juggle them together. But Mr. Man says that, please, I'm focused on this one and every other thing. Close the door to every other thing. Let me finish with this one, and we'll deal with the other things.
Interesting.
Yes, it is at this stage that you get to know that we have understood who the woman is. When the Bible says that I will make a help meet for you, they have capacity
To multitask.
to multitask, to support you. It is not a mean word. Ever since we started paying close attention to that word, you realize that, oh, truly, they have real strength to help a man. So then we get to understand why. So our frailties are covered and helped by the women that we are with. They are able to support us to be able to go forward. So if our ladies also get to know that this is the capacity they carry, and this is what they also bring to the marriage, then they can have some patience and time, and then keep supporting the men to see them appreciate and come up in life, and that can help with the relationship or the marriage and make sure that we're able to deal with such situations that come.
You know what? You make a very important point, which cement what Mabi said, and I want to provide my reflections on it. I think that when we see these experiences at the reality stage, especially for the woman, okay, it's both sides, but let me address the woman first. I think for the woman, you should then begin to appreciate your role, like you are saying, as a helper, as a helpmeet, who is supposed to complement and augment the man. Because if he could do it, and you are there because the guy, he just cannot do it. He just cannot do it. So you have to step in and help him. And that requires that you don't complain. Don't complain, because if you could do it, you will not come into the picture. And it's same for the man. Yeah. You know, the deficiencies you see in your husband, she cannot do it. So you have to step in. Now you are seeing the real person and his or her capabilities, and you've realized this particular thing, she keeps getting it wrong. What do you do? Do you complain? No. But you can do it at a go.
Yes.
So what do? You step in and then you fix it. Let me share this, my personal experience at the reality stage. It may sound trivial, but I know that in some homes it has created problems. Now, when I was growing up, I was made to think that eating konkonte was for the poor. It was the poor who would eat konkonte. Fine. My mom would occasionally prepare konkonte for us with granite soup. But the environment I grew up in, I saw konkonte being the resort, the last for the poor. Okay. Then I meet Mrs. Osimesi. And from the relationship stage, we are eating rice. We go to the restaurant, we eat rice. Very nice. Cool. I don't like eating fufu because of all the experience of pounding fufu. You know, as a boy in the house, I hated fufu, and I still hate fufu. If you give it to me, I'll eat. Then I meet Miss Osimesi. Can you imagine her delicacies?
KKT.
Can you imagine Miss Osimesi's delicacies? The very things I hate. Those are the things like she loves. So the first few years, I see her pounding fufu and I'm angry. She goes to the market and she buys konkonte flour for konkonte. And she wants to bring me into a world. But for me, the psyche is for the poor. Okay, then you reverse. I love yam. I can eat yam 24/7. She hates yam. She doesn't like yam at all. Then she goes to the market and she wants to buy yam for me to eat. And the first few years it was tough. Sweetheart, what will you eat? Yam. And then you see her face change. I also ask her, what are you eating this kokonte? I said, what? And how did you work around it? I came to accept that as I say, I cannot bring her into my yam world fully. Does she still prepare kokonte after 10 years? She eats. Sunday afternoons. When you come home on Sunday afternoons, you have two options in my home.
So your wife told me you ate kokonte after 10 years.
Yes,
that
after
was
10
when
years.
You tried the kokonte.
Yes, recently.
Oh,
After 10 years.
beautiful.
Yes. So now when you come to my home on a Sunday afternoon, it's either konkonte or fufu. I've been forced to eat because I realized that if I didn't manage it well, it could tear apart a beautiful. So in the reality stage, that you begin to discover, no, but for say, your favorite food is konkonte. Honestly, I've still not understood why, but it shows how the reality stage reveals the true.
Pastor, it is not a true but let me just add to it that is KKT is a favorite of Mrs. Hey, when she's eating KKT or fufu, the way she sweats is very different, and the eyes open. The eyes are already
What is in that food?
Open like how? I can look at her and like, hey, do you know when you are me, I can't eat KKT. I don't eat KKT.
It's like this is also eating fufu or KKT.
They are in third world. You should ask
But
some
you know,
people.
in many homes, these things have strained relationships.
Yes. A typical one I saw Okay, so me when we married, my mom is a nurse, and the type that cleanliness is next to godliness. You can't enter into the bed without bathing. When you go outside, you should bath before you sleep. In my house, it's the reverse. Me when I come home, no matter the time, if it's 12 midnight, I'll bath before I can't sleep without bathing. But Mrs. She can sleep.
And then wake up.
Yeah, wake up. I still don't get it.
I think it is something with ladies, honestly.
Up till now, I still can't figure it out why you can sleep and sleep comfortably and wake up at dawn 12 and go and bath to come and continue the sleep. Me, when I do that, it means that is
It's
the
different
end.
from sleeping and dozing off. At times, maybe you doze off, then after the bath, it is sleeping.
No, this one sleeping and can
In my
carry yourself
house,
on the bed.
After
that is the normality of Mrs. Osimesi.
When
From
you doze
work,
off,
she sleeps, wakes up around 9:30 to go and wash down.
Now come to proper sleep.
yes, you doze off.
So let's now move to the should I go or should I stay stage. So these are some of the realities which come up. You get to see. In fact, Mabella, thank you so much for the typologies you raised.
Yes.
There's 6 different personalities we actually get married to. This is a beautiful insight you have given. So now in the reality stage, we've discovered these 6 different personalities. Then the questions come. I spoke to a divorce lawyer 2 years ago, back in Budapest, and she told me, Godfred, I don't want to marry. And I asked why. I said, the cases which come to me, they are affecting my psyche. These are people who were so beautiful together, and then suddenly they become the worst of enemies. And when you sit down to listen to the core argument, it's like, but this thing, they can solve it. But somehow, when they get into the reality stage and they begin to see these 6 different typologies, they are not able to reconcile. Then they move to the stage of consideration. Should I stay and work it out with him or her or back out? And unfortunately, currently, about half of them will back out.
Because now the social setting has given credence to the fact that if you can't work out, there are options available for you.
And
You
it's a
don't need
business
to.
too.
Yes, it's
Divorce
a
is a
business. Yes,
business.
it's a business. Now people are making tons of money. We stay with you for 5 years, then we know that we have contributed to your wealth. So when I work out, you have to give me a share of it, and that is it. There's nothing. There's no strings attached. But it brings a very contemptuous question about the motive we go into marriage with.
The motive again. This has come up again.
Yes. So it's like people don't settle in their heart exactly why I am going with this person. And then they also don't tell themselves that I am willing to work with this person irrespective of the deficiencies the person brings to the table. And then we don't also tell ourselves that I am a solution to the problem in that marriage.
Very important. That mindset. That
yes.
I'm the solution to this deficiency the person has.
We don't really hammer on it, or we don't bring ourselves to it. And then we also fail to have critical conversations about the relationship. Especially at the reality stage, issues like finance, issues like
body shape, overweight, somebody being overweight, somebody losing their hair.
Yes. Those things come in. So it is important as married couples, we have very intentional conversations about these things, so that we can be able to settle in our heart what we are doing and find a solution, one from the scriptures, find solution from experienced people, so that we can deal with them. We don't have to assume that marriage is
unfortunately, in many places, and Mabi, that brings me to you. Immediately, these typologies you shared begin to come up. The real person and their deficiencies begin to come up. That becomes the grounds for separation. And for me, it beats my understanding a bit. Okay, isn't that rather a blessing that for somebody you're going to spend for the rest of your life with, after 2 years, you're beginning to see some traits you don't like? I think it's a blessing because you've seen it early enough.
Deficiencies in itself. Some of the character traits, they are not deficiencies. It's just that part of the person that you didn't know, that part of the person that you didn't encounter he didn't experience at the relationship stage. So you get to react not because that trait or that attribute is actually negative, but it's something you were not expecting. I think that personally, at the very early stages, at a point in time, I was just getting disappointed every now and then. And later, I wondered, oh, come to think of it. So I said, I said, we are okay. One time, I think we're having a discussion. So when are you going to do it? So very soon, very soon. So how soon? So when I get the money, I said, come on. You don't even have the money to do this thing, and you are speaking as though the money is there for you to do it next month. Then he goes like, have you forgotten I'm a man of faith? Then it happened. So at a point in time, I went like, oh, okay.
We are talking our
So,
future.
so what he promises
there are some of the things he's saying
By
it
faith.
not because the money is sitting in the account somewhere or he's sure of where the thing is coming from.
by faith we
And
see the glory.
taking you to he went for a conference somewhere valley or on a boat ride, and it's nice, and I'll be taking you there, and you think that
It's tomorrow.
yeah, December package B, and I said, obey the package B, and it comes and said, sister, we'll get there. And so one time I said, well, man of faith, man of faith. So do baby Okasam say, are you talking by faith? is this one by faith? Or by a sure banker? The checkbook will speak for it. So I grew
So you
to
adjusted.
appreciate that one. Is it wrong to talk by faith? Is it wrong to express his faith? And says that I'm a man. I need to dream and dream big. And I'm a man of the spirit too. And I know the power of words. So I can't stop speaking, sweetheart. I can't stop speaking. I have to speak them into being. So okay. Yeah, now getting this explanation, I know when or come even next one. This are you talking about? This is not my thing. Let's try and separate things here. So that is to say that some of the things is not because a negative in a sense, but you are surprised how the confidence with which me, for instance, my husband will say certain things, and you know that okay, this is faith talking. But I think that when I appreciated that bit of him, and I got to know that was it. That was his personality. I also adopted it. It was working. It was working. So we'll keep saying.
And it's been working.
Yes, it's been working. So you keep saying some of the things. Some of them we are yet to see them
It will
materialize.
manifest.
Yes, but it had. So now Kasana with him. So okay.
We are talking
Keep it-
together.
Yes, we are speaking together. We have
Fantastic.
to speak some of these things
Oh,
together.
beautiful.
Now with the other negative things, both the negative and
Let me
both
give one practical example of the negativity. So you suddenly discover your man has interest in another woman. Is it grounds enough? You've seen that this man has weakness with women. Is it
interested
grounds
or
enough?
involved.
However we put it, like you see that your man eyes other women, or you see him with other women.
There are two things.
You didn't
please.
see this at the romantic stage, because
Okay.
at the romantic stage, all the focus was on you. But you go to reality stage, and then you begin to see that this man seems to have eye for other women. To stay or to go stage. When we get to that stage, I mean,
Okay, so
what do we do?
like in our previous discussion, it came up. The first point of call is to pray, and apart from like this example you've given, it's serious, because upon all the things that happen in marriage, it's on this grounds of adultery that Bible permits divorce. So it tells you that this is a dangerous zone, and I don't find any good word to make it nice. It's a crime, a serious crime in marriage. But again, it depends on the person. For this one, commit it to prayer and let the right people get involved.
Let me
The right people get involved. With adultery, yes.
not adultery per se, but shows interest in that way. Okay, let me soften the question a bit. You see that your man has so much interest in the extended family, and the funds which come to the home, he's channeling a lot to help people in the extended family. You've discovered this about him. At the romantic stage, you didn't see it because the focus was on you. He was buying you everything you needed. And then you marry and suddenly say, oh, for 16, yeah. Or also show more and all that. And some of your priorities are no longer his priorities. When these things come and you get to those stage of contemplation, questions, is it enough justification that some people, on the basis of those differential financial management approaches, contemplate living?
Pastor, can I?
Yeah, Pastor V, you can.
I think that for every situation that happens, as a couple, you first have to discuss it. Don't make decisions out of what you are seeing for yourself alone. We should have that boldness and the courage to talk about it. And it should never be something hidden that you would express your feelings or your consent. It's also I've listened to quite a few pastors talk about this, and what they present has been the challenge is more with the way we approach the conversation. The approach is what brings about it changes the whole thing. Tonation, and then the timing of the conversation. Those are the things that affect, but not the situation itself. Is the things it is communicated is what affects it. So if you would know your partner very well, then you should know when you want to have those conversations.
I mean, but I'm not cutting you short, and we'll go for a break soon, and then come back and continue. But you make a very solid point. It's often not the situation itself which pushes people to the wall. It's the way the situation is communicated.
Yes.
And who communicates it, and where it is communicated. Because sometimes you hear the issues based on which people are ready to leave the relationship or marriage. And what the issue ni pa? And can you but the way it was communicated.
Yes. Yeah. And that is what brings about the respect and the disrespect equation that happens in marriages a lot. What place? When are you supposed to communicate? Before I got married, I remember my mom telling me that when you have an issue with your partner, never stand in public to address it.
And me, I'll add, don't pick the phone to call
and talk about
a third person to report.
No, it says never. What's in kind of fantasy? Mema obi nti wano kasa about where. So any day your wife has done anything, or you the husband you've done anything to your partner, it should not be in the midst of others, or the timing of communication. You should watch it and choose a time which you can be able to reach your partner.
So the timing,
yes,
the location, the tonality,
yes, and we know all of these things. In fact, we know. We actually know when to get to our partner. We know, because when we want something, we know how to get it. Every woman knows how to get the things he wants from a man. The man also knows how to get the things he wants from the woman. But when issues come, we fail to apply the same principle to get the same result by conversing about it. So we choose the time, we choose the tone, and then begin the discussion so that we can put it objectively and look at it. That you are sending money home. I'm not against us supporting our families. Even the Bible engenders us to be able to support our home. So which means all the people who are around us, we have to play a certain part up to a certain point. But we cannot divert all the resources of the family to this side. It means we are not balancing the equation. So how do we go about it?
There are marriages in court today which are being dissolved along these lines.
Yes.
The financial management issues. Some, the first one I raised, suspicions of adultery or extramarital affairs. For them, disrespect. Like when you listen to the issues themselves, I always think that many of them are not enough grounds for people to choose. So it is the stage of to stay or to go, to choose to go. Because just like Pastor Fee, you were saying, if we were to separate the issue objectively and look at it, we are rational actors. We would find solutions around it. But it's like the issue is mixed up in a community soup with the way the person spoke and who also added the voice and all that. And you listen to many cases of divorce, and at the core, you are not getting the story. At the Distinguished audience, it's becoming interesting. But we want to take a break. And when we come back, we would chew a bit more on this stage and then move to the next two stages, the working stage. What exactly do we do then? Knowing that now this is how our partner is. What do we do at the working stage to sustain the relationship and the marriage? All these things we are saying, they apply to relationships. So the same extracts or nuggets of wisdom apply to relationships. So we would come back shortly and then we would continue with the discussion. I want to thank you again. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Thank you so much.